Yeah, it's a belief or generalization amongst a group of individuals that often has a negative connotation attached to it, so you apply a label to a big number of people.
People make an assumption about you based on what you look like or what people assume you to act like.
Just the fact that we're alcoholics and we do drugs.
First Nations people are lazy, I think is a big one. Indigenous people are drunks.
The Indians live in teepees, Indians live on welfare, Indians are jobless, Indians are alcoholics.
Indigenous people are not educated, they're drunks and junkies, and they don't know how to take care of their children.
Drunks, alcoholics, gangsters, savage is a really big one.
Yes, I've heard we were drunks, fatherless, thieves, jobless, uneducated, bums. Basically, like, just the lowest of the low.
They are often on welfare or are unsuccessful, which now knowing, not true.
No, because I'm sitting here today, I'm Mount Royal Collegiate getting my education.
No, I love my culture for what it is and I'm proud of it.
I don't, but you know, you kind of see a lot of it from the pain and suffering that a couple of these Indigenous people have gone through, like residential school and stuff like that. So there are a couple of them, but like when they say like all of them are, I don't believe that. But I know some people are struggling and they can't really like express their feelings or get the help that they need, so they try to drown it in drugs and alcohol and stuff like that.
For me, it's my community, because like the primarily my community here is made of Indigenous people. So for me, it's just like the people that I surround myself with.
Not really. I mean, I've been approached and people ask me like questions like, do you still live in a teepee? Tell them, no, I live in a house just like you.
I think all of society is affected by the stereotypes, because when we place these beliefs, or people place these beliefs on ignorance, on groups of people, it's going to have negative outcomes on them and on the person saying them, because they look so ridiculous. So I think that there's negative outcomes for all involved.
I would say originally no. I've grown up white privilege, which up until university I didn't really even know what that meant, but they have several courses that we take that kind of break that down and educate us on all of that stuff, and I'm not well versed in it. I would say more so that I've come to Mount Royal has it really sunk in more of how much our province still needs to heal and the work that we still need to do.
A segregated group of people that are still trying to find a way to decolonize themselves.
My first thing that comes to mind would be stewards. So the place that we live in Saskatchewan was built and created by Indigenous people. I also think about sadness and the guilt and shame that all Canadians should hold towards their treatment.
I think like a lot of like horrible things, but at the same time strength.
Well, when you get past all the harsh areas with residential school and everything else, most of us are mostly spiritual, and we are usually educated around spiritual beliefs and usually respecting other people.
When I think of Indigenous people, what comes to mind is power and land, the original inhabitants of our country, and reconciliation.
No, I'm actually pretty proud to be an Indigenous person.
Honestly, no, it kind of builds character, because it's so funny when people see you succeed and like it kind of just blows up in their face. They're like, oh, he's not a drunk, he's not uneducated.
I've never wished I wasn't Indigenous, but I do wish there were no stereotypes towards Indigenous people.
Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes I kind of wish I wasn't Indigenous because of how everyone's like point of view of all of us people are. But then again, it's also like kind of bad for me to say that. But then it's like there's there's a way we can change that point of view on everyone on us, like the stereotypes and everything. Like example for us now, like we're in school, and it's actually pretty cool that we're actually taking time to do this interview about like the problems that we have with our Indigenous people and everything. And like it's sad to say that I kind of wish I was a Native at one point, but then again, I wouldn't be who I am today without my Native culture and everything.
And most people that I know that believe in these stereotypes are like what I would call baby boomers, like old people, like my dad, for example. They were raised to believe some of these things. When they see Indigenous peoples visibly who are in these situations, like for example, 20th Street, the argument is, well, why is there so many Native people that are drunk all the time on 20th Street? A lot of people would automatically say they have every opportunity that everyone else has. They should just try harder or work better. But what people don't understand that believe in those stereotypes is they don't understand the systemic racism behind our colonial development as a country. So as we begin to move forward in reconciliation, I think it's important that people start to understand the systemic policies that our government had and has.
Because I truly believe until you know why someone believes the way they do, you don't know how they formulated their opinion. If people haven't been exposed to differences, sometimes they formulate ideas from what they see, and it could be media, it could be television.
By staying sober and being a good role model for the next generation.
Combination of what I don't do that anymore. I just exist as myself and as an advocate, as an ally for Indigenous people. And
well, one, I'm calling people on them. If I hear something that I believe to be false, I will correct it or speak up. Two, advocating for reconciliation and restoration of Indigenous rights as they were meant to be, and by not thinking it's okay, by standing against it.
My fighting against stereotypes of Indigenous people starts with understanding people, understanding where people come from.
So I would say I'm fighting against stereotypes by, in my classroom, if a situation arises where somebody makes a comment and it's offensive, I either shut it down and kind of state that, hey, that's offensive, please do not say that. You are going with the stereotypes and not everybody's different, that we can't be saying those types of things.